Hello, and welcome to The Table, a podcast made specifically for people who eat food. We are your hosts. I am Katelynn.
Shannon.
And this is our first podcast. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Off to a great start.
Off to a great start. She'll be listening. So this is To The Table. This is a podcast we made food-centered kind of topics, but I imagine we'll probably breach what food-centered means more than once. So I guess I'll hand it over to you if you want to add your introduction to what this is for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is really it's gonna be a fun time where it's gonna be us hanging out, talking about food, or maybe we'll have some guests, talk about our food opinions, great food debates, and other all sorts of fun things. So it's gonna be a good time. Stick around.
So the reason I shot for a more food-centric thing, besides the very selfish reasons of I have essentially a food brand that I'm building, and not in I don't sell food, but I sell food-related art and books and stuff like that I'm working on. So this kind of goes in with that. But I can't think of something more relatable to everyone on this planet but than food other than air. So hopefully everyone can relate to this in their own way. It's a broad topic. Hopefully we can make this somewhat entertaining for a listening thing. But we'll have a rotation of guests, all of whom are friends and possible family. And we'll kind of shape the topics to the person who's with us, so we can kind of make it easier for them to be a part of this as well. And today we have no topic. This is just straight improv.
I did improv in college.
You did. So you did do that.
Call me a professional.
What was your favorite improv game to play? Or exercise, whatever they call them?
Yeah, we usually went with the name games. I don't know what other people do. Mm-hmm. We were very chill. Good times. I really enjoyed Party Quirks. And if you know the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway, I believe they also play that game or some variation of that game on there.
I played that one once and it was so much fun.
It's so fun. It's basically, if you don't know, is usually have 4 people and one person is the party host. So they leave the room and then the audience gets to decide what the quirk is of the other 3 people. So the 3 people leave the room, the one person comes back in, they start hosting a party, and then basically the other players arrive to this party and they keep having to act out whatever their quirk is, and it's the host's job to guess who they are. And it's so silly. I've had so many good ones over the years. One time I was Shakira and my hips didn't lie.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
It was so fun. So basically every time I told a lie, my hips revealed that I was lying.
That's the best. That's the best way to play Shakira without just doing the voice.
Yes, it was so fun.
She'd be so proud.
I hope so. Love Shakira. My mom didn't know who Shakira was the other day. Fun fact.
No way!
Yeah, we were talking about, I think she has a new dance sort of reality show thing. So we saw a commercial for it and my mom was like, I don't know any of these people. And I was like, you've got to know Shakira. She goes, I don't know Shakira. And even my dad was like, you have to know Shakira.
The fact that your dad knew Shakira more than your mom is very funny.
Yes.
That's great.
That sounds about right. But it's fine. I think when we played it, she sort of vaguely was familiar with it, but yeah.
Did you know she got quote unquote arrested recently?
Did she? Shakira?
Yeah, tax evasion.
Oh no.
I mean, obviously usually with those kind of things and with celebrities, arrested means a trip to the station and back.
Yeah.
But hopefully they figured that out. I just remember that being in the news. Or at least on the tabloids recently. I don't follow that much, but it did show up and it was very funny.
Oh, I did not hear about it.
And Noah, and for context, Noah's my boyfriend. He was like, how do you forget to like file your taxes? I'm like, I don't think it was a matter of forgetfulness. This was either an accountant being sneaky or Shakira being sneaky. This wasn't a forgetful thing.
Yeah.
No one forgets to
She's
file their taxes.
yeah, she's also I don't know what age she is now, but she's been an adult for quite some time. Like she didn't just forget.
She's been an adult. She has indeed been an adult for a little bit. What a weird way to word that. I love that. I too have been an adult for a little bit, meaning like very recently. Um, but learning, like, becoming adult, I guess, and cooking for myself has been like the most adulting thing I've done so far. And I say that just because I didn't dorm, so I was at home, was with my family, and I've been with my family. I haven't moved out yet. But cooking for myself has like been my favorite way to like start like learning the growing up skills. Beyond obviously like I know how to do laundry now. That's not exciting. Um, well, to be clear, I've known how to do laundry for a bit. I didn't just learn that at 22. Um, that'd be really sad. But
Be said.
do you have a favorite thing to make? A favorite thing that you've learned to cook, like since like being an adult? Like cooking like mac and cheese is basically a not that doesn't count. Like actual cooking,
Yeah.
unless you make
That
it from scratch, that counts.
that's such a great question. I don't think I've made mac and cheese from scratch. I've eaten it from scratch before, but I don't think I myself have made it. So
Hot
that's
take, not worth it.
not worth it.
No, I love a lot of foods homemade, but I
Mhm.
think homemade mac and cheese just tastes more like milk and less like cheese. I'd rather Velveeta. Give me that cheese sludge in a bag. Eh,
That's fair. I think the fake orange cheese just I don't know if it's this nostalgia or the taste,
yeah.
but yeah, for sure.
And like
I
it's
get that.
good. I don't mean to knock it, but yeah, it's just I don't think it's worth all the money and effort when you could just buy a Velveeta and it's like just as good. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I think what my favorite thing about homemade mac and cheese is when people put breadcrumbs on top. That
yes,
elevates it to another level.
agreed. I have put breadcrumbs on Velveeta before.
Mhm.
I have a tiny little casserole dish that's like 5 inches across, and I just put the Velveeta in it and just broil it for a second.
I love that. It's
The
like a singular minute in the oven and you're like, "Mhm."
yeah. Also, kudos to anyone who can broil something and take it out before it burns. And I know maybe it just makes me look unprepared. I've never broiled something without like toasting it. Like it got black. Like I'm like it's been in there for like 30 seconds and it's burned. But like if it was in there for 25 seconds, it would be cold.
Yeah, that can go very wrong very fast.
It's awful. I have to broil basically using a hand torch because it's the only way I can control it.
Just have a hand torch,
I do.
take it out and time to fry this.
Yeah, like the little torches you use to make like creme brulee.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
Oh, not like a blowtorch. Well, it
I was
is.
just
It's a tiny
imagining like this
blowtorch, but it's
flamethrower coming
yeah,
out.
straight up like pack on my back and like giant handle. Yeah, that.
Yep.
That's how I
Mhm.
make mac and cheese.
Perfect.
Okay, I interrupted my own question to you, so I'll bring it back. What is your favorite thing to cook as of right now?
Mm, that is the question.
It is indeed. I've asked it.
I think most recently I made something with yellow squash. Um,
Ooh.
and I'm not much of like a squash or zucchini sort of gal. Like we don't use it all that often in my family's cooking.
Mhm.
But we had been gifted a single squash from someone who had a garden.
Uh-huh.
Um, so we were like, well, of course we want to use it. It's like fresh from a garden. And none of us knew what to do with it. So I found it was like a bow tie pasta, sauteed squash, and it had ground
Ooh.
chicken in it. And it was one of those things where it was just me in charge of cooking it. I had like two pans going. I was just adding spices, not measuring anything. And I was like, man, I am an adult
Nothing
right
makes you
now.
feel like Ratatouille from or feel like
Yes.
Remy from Ratatouille when he's making the soup when you just throw in
Uh,
spices in without measuring.
yep, it was my Ratatouille moment. Absolutely. But yes, so do you have a favorite food or meal?
By far, it is chicken and gnocchi soup.
Oh,
Um, and
that
it
sounds
sounds
delightful.
so fancy. And like in a way, like you can pretend that it is, but it's I mean, soup is soup. Soup is both like an easy, like low maintenance type meal, but it's also like the most decadent thing in the world. And the world would be so much worse without soups. Um,
Mhm.
but chicken and gnocchi soup, it is a copy specifically of the Olive Garden chicken and gnocchi soup, which most people who frequent Olive Garden or who have in the past have loved that soup. And basically I had like a couple like crappy experiences at Olive Garden just for different reasons. The one near us, like either the service was like mediocre, which is fine, whatever. Some like they forgot our appetizer completely and still charged us for it, or the food was just kind of meh, but the soup is always very good. And I was like, I don't need to come here anymore. I'm just gonna learn how to make the soup. And then I learned how to make the soup, and now I make it like every other month. I make it all the time. I made a bunch of it and I brought it to um one of my college classes. We have open studios, basically a bunch of computer labs and studio rooms are open 24/7. So I just walked in there with a crock pot full of soup and I messaged the whole class and was like, if you want soup, soup is here. And then I came back and collected it later. I will look for any excuse to make soup.
Me too, I'm a fan of soup. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is, it's soup time.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny that you mentioned that it was from a restaurant and then you copied the recipe because I really want to figure out how to steal the recipe to All Bon Pain's lemon chicken orzo soup.
Ooh,
I
that
don't know
sounds good.
what's in it, but it's
I
so
bet you it's
good. And
lemon chicken and orzo.
it's so good. I whenever like lemon is in a dish, I get a little worried because I like the lemon flavor but not too much of it.
Mhm.
And that soup, oh, anytime it was available on the menu. But anyway, I had a friend who worked at Obon Pain, and I
Mhm.
tried to get her to tell me the secrets, but she said that they came already made,
Mhm.
so she didn't even know the recipe, and I was like, "Ah, man, they win another day," but I will get that recipe.
I always thought that was the case with Olive Garden too, and like I've heard a lot of rumors of like everything at Olive Garden coming frozen. I know for a
Mhm.
fact that the breadsticks come in a giant trash bag full of frozen bread logs. Um, but apparently they make the soups fresh in house.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
So according to legend, the legend being my printmaking professor who worked there prior to teaching, um, she said they made it fresh, but she didn't know the recipe either. I found it online, and then I kind of just edited it as I liked it. I like it more chicken flavored, so I use chicken stock, but I also add a bouillon cube. Was like the biggest change that like made a difference. So if you ever make it from the recipe online and it tastes like way too creamy, chuck a bouillon cube in there. It's so worth it.
Hmm, that's the key. Is it, what kind of bouillon cube? Is it, like, chicken or
Yeah, just chicken. I just stick it to chicken because it asks for chicken broth. You put chicken in it,
Mhm.
but you pre-cook the chicken. As with a lot of soups, they'll have you like pre or par cook the meat before you put it in. I just don't think it tastes very chickeny because there's a lot of cream in it. So you pour the heavy cream in, and it kind of tastes like cream plus the seasonings. So I add like chicken bouillon to make sure it still tastes like chicken and tastes more like how Olive Garden makes it. But the other thing, mini gnocchis. I don't make my own. I will eventually, but the soup already takes like 2 hours to make, so I get pre-made gnocchis. But the mini ones
That's
are
okay.
so much better.
I Yeah, many things in general, I think are just great.
They are, with the exception of like store bought cookies. Like store bought like mini Oreos used to be the most amazing cookies. They're disgusting now. Get the regular Oreos.
Yeah, what is it with prepackaged cookies? I feel like they're just skimping out over the years. Like, you open up the package and now suddenly there's, like, empty spaces in the rows. there's one less row than you had before.
Oh,
The
yeah.
cookies themselves are smaller. I'm just like, "What is this madness?"
Um, yeah, I have noticed that a little bit, and I wonder if, like I mean, obviously things get, like, cheaper over time, that is the nature of, uh, consumerism and all that, but I wonder if it's we are getting bigger, like, to a kid, like, the Oreo package looks ginormous, but to an adult, it's like, "Oh, okay. This is, like, maybe
Eh,
30 cookies at most."
yeah, I wonder if that's part of it, because I think indulging in a packaged cookie is also sort of like a kid thing, you're like, "Oh my god, what's your favorite cookie?" And Oreo. And
Yeah.
then as an adult, you're like, "One that I make and is not
Homemade
in this
oatmeal raisin.
package." Yeah. Uh, Oatmeal raisin? Is that your pick?
It is not, it's still chocolate chip, but oatmeal raisin
Okay.
is very good. Speaking of, I laughed a little bit at my dad today. I say I laughed at him, he wasn't home, I laughed in spite of him. So, my
Yes.
dad, obviously, like, he's very health conscious, which is great. He gets the Halo Top ice cream, like, the low calorie, like, diet type ice cream, which is
Okay.
delicious, by the way. Nothing but good things to say. But dad goes as far as to get ice cream, right?
Mhm.
Gets the diet ice cream. Great. Gets the oatmeal flavored diet ice cream.
Oh.
It's oatmeal cookie flavored. So, like, it's sweetened. Why would you get the oatmeal flavor if you're already getting a diet thing? Get the chocolate.
Yeah. What?
Because, like, there's no oatmeal in that. It's ice cream. So it is artificially flavored like a grain.
That sounds so counterintuitive. It's like, "Oh, I want something sweet." It's not sweet? Oatmeal.
Oatmeal. Yeah.
Put that in there.
And I know, like, this young man, like, oh, oatmeal it is sweet, especially if it's in a cookie or if you get like a flavored. Yeah, I know, but why would you make it ice cream? Shame,
Yeah.
shame also on Halo Top. Like, why oatmeal? I'm sure you're
Wild.
great and all. I've had your strawberry ice cream. It's delicious, but like oatmeal cookie? I don't even. There's not even oatmeal cookie like regular ice cream. You can't find that like in Friendlies.
Yeah. Wonder if that's why they're trying to be different.
Actually, I think you might have cracked the code there.
That was it. They're just trying to be unique and really crack.
Yeah, and we're here bashing on oatmeal
Yeah,
flavored ice
on their
cream.
brand.
Next up, they're
Oh,
gonna come out
man.
with bacon.
My actually, one of my cousins makes all a whole bunch of, like, weird flavor ice creams, and one of them is maple bacon.
Huh. I have
Yeah.
had a bacon milkshake, and I'm not proud to say that I've had a bacon milkshake. It was
Oh,
kind of
that
good. So I imagine it'd be pretty good, especially with like the maple flavor.
yeah,
Huh.
it is. I'm trying to remember. I haven't had it in a while, so it's hard for me to describe the taste, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's such an interesting hobby to have too, is to make your own ice cream. Like, I don't know how you get into it, but it sounds so fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you have like an ice cream maker in like especially like, one of the pricier ones, like I do not blame you, for wanting to use it and use it well. Um, but yeah, it is. I mean, I can see myself getting into like pickling and making like jerky and stuff in the future, but I never considered making ice cream.
What would you pickle?
Well, first of all, cucumbers.
Okay.
um, my dad does a little bit of it now, and it's very good. You just make the brine, and you just stick whatever you want in it. Pickled beets, pickled onions, and pickled like boiled eggs are very good.
Mm,
Um, and you can put them all in one jar. And if you have pickled beets, everything turns purple. So the like hard boiled eggs are like purple on the outside. They look like Easter eggs.
fun.
But yeah, it's a great way to like flavor something like if you put in a salad, so you get like a vinegar taste without having to add like a ton of dressing. Um, that and I could eat pickles like in a bowl with a fork. like
Yeah,
I love
I got
pickles. I drink the pickle juice. Honestly, I'm that person.
wow, you drink it.
I do, I do indeed. Um,
I don't go that far. I do like pickles. I don't
mhm.
know if I could take the juice just straight though.
Every time I've been dared to, like, drink pickle juice, like, I take the pickles out of the jar first because I will finish it. But I don't wanna, like, put my mouth up to the jar and, like, leave the pickles in for other people, so I remove the pickles, like, down the jar, clean the jar, put the pickles back.
That's considerate. That's very nice.
But I did at my cousin's house recently. I was at their house just for the day to just, like, enjoy some time with my aunt, and she's like, "Do you want anything to eat?" And I was like, "Okay." And we were looking in the fridge. I was like, "Can I have some pickles?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's only, like, 2 spears left." And she just handed me the jar, and little did she know that I would just down the jar when I was done
Done.
the pickles. It wasn't full to the brim, like, it was one of those, like, by the end of all the pickles, it was, like, maybe a half full at best.
Mhm.
Um, but then my uncle came home while I had it in my hand, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm
Uh,
like, Just drinking."
don't mind me, just got my drink of choice.
Yeah, this was after because it was their vacation week, and she offered me, like, which is why, like, I spent the day with her. She offered me, like, a White Claw. She's like, "You want anything, like, you want a beer or anything?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm not much of an alcohol drinker for the most part. Like, I'm good." And she's like, "I offered you, like, 4 actual drinks, and you're drinking out of a pickle jar." I was like, "Yes, I am."
Yeah, I could just imagine you the next time at a bar, everyone's like, "Yeah, I'll take a beer, I'll take a martini, whatever," and then
I'll
you're
take
like,
the pickle juice.
"Pickle juice." Great. No chaser. Like,
You know what's funny? I bet you there's a drink where pickle juice is the chaser. There's always a
oh,
drink.
that's interesting. We should look that up. I'm
I'm looking it
curious.
up. Now I'm intrigued. Okay. Drink with pickle juice. Oh, I can't type. Drink with pickle juice. Chaser. It's called a pickleback!
Pickleback? Wow.
The pickleback is a very interesting whiskey shot and a drink you have to experience for yourself. It's incredibly simple. A shot of Jameson chased by a shot of pickle juice, and it is without a doubt one of the most popular shots ordered in bars around the world. Is it really that popular? I've never heard of it before.
Wow. It's so I'm also looking at pictures of it now. That's wild.
How to make a pickleback shot. 2 minutes, 2 ingredients.
It's not really a how-to, it's just like one the rest.
There's another ingredient that takes 5 minutes. What are the extra 3 minutes for?
What are the what?
This one has a whole, like, what I'm seeing a lot is 2 shot glasses. 1 shot glass is full of whiskey. It appears to be Jameson.
Yeah.
And then there's another shot glass full of pickle juice. This one has 2 tall glasses, one of each, and a whole pickle spear in the pickle cup.
If you wanna be extra fancy, get yourself a pickle spear.
This is not what I expected to learn today.
Yeah. Wow.
Is Jameson any good? I've never had Jameson.
I
I don't think
I'm
Noah
also
likes
not
it.
sure if I've had a couple of sips of whiskey,
Mhm.
and they all taste about the same. I had a friend who had, it was either almond or I think it was almond actually, and he
Yeah.
was, like, shaking the glass from the bottom like, one of those whiskey people,
Mhm.
and, he was shaking it and sniffing it, and he was like, "Ah, it smells like almonds," and then he handed it to me to sniff. I gave one whiff, handed it back, and said, "It smells like hand sanitizer. I don't know what you think you're smelling. It is simply not this." It was just he was just being, like, so pretentious is the wrong word, but he was like, "Mhm, I am a whiskey drinker, and
Yeah.
I'm not here for it." Like, "You're fooling no one."
That's awesome. Yeah, there's there's an almond flavored alcohol that I absolutely love. I'm trying to remember. I think it's called, like, Di Serono, I think.
Oh,
Okay,
I don't
for
think I've heard of it.
if there's anyone here who listens, the 5 of you listening to this, and if anyone actually knows alcohol, I'm so sorry. Um, I I just turned 22. I've only been drinking a year, and I drink strictly strawberry margaritas. But I think it's Amaretto di Serono, if I remember it right.
Mhm.
Um, Forgive the lack of Italian accent or effort to create one. Um, but it tastes like almonds, and if you mix it with Coke, to a lot of people it tastes like Dr. Pepper, to me it tastes like chocolate. And
Oh.
that another hot take,
Yeah.
but you know, like the lint balls, the little like lint truffles with like the
Mhm.
melty center? There's an
Yeah.
almond flavored one. And to
Mhm.
me it tastes exactly like that. And it's
Ah.
so good. But those bottles are like $60, so I haven't bought one. I buy
Ooh.
cheap tequila and butterscotch schnapps, and that's about it.
Nice. There you go. Cheap way to do it. Um, but yeah, wow, that sounds delicious though.
Yeah, it's super good. And if you really hate Dr. Pepper, you probably won't like it. But like I'm
Mm.
kind of on the fence with Dr. Pepper, but I really love this. Um so yeah, there's that. I don't know if we'll ever do like an alcohol episode, but we probably could. And
We
I'll like
probably could.
do a little bit more
I
research.
am yes. I was just about to say I'm like wildly not qualified to talk about this topic though.
Yeah.
I I've just had like such bad luck with drinks according to the people who drink more regularly than I do
Mhm.
because on or around my 21st birthday we went out and we were like, "Woo, let's buy legal drinks." And I got a sangria because my friend who likes like bitter wine and black coffee, that should have been the tip. But,
Mhm.
she suggested it to me, and I drank it, and it was just like sour grape juice. It was not good at all.
Sangria is one of the more mild tasting alcohols too.
Yeah, it was just however this place made it, it was not good. And then I went to a
Wow.
different place to try a strawberry margarita, and it was just practically just tequila with, like, an aftertaste of a strawberry, and it just yeah, even the people that were with me drinking those drinks were like, "Yeah, you're just getting bad ones all the time."
Yeah, you must be. I mean, granted, like, it doesn't like, nothing tastes as good as, like, a fruit punch without alcohol in it, but, like, a strawberry margarita should taste like strawberry, and the tequila should be the aftertaste, not the strawberry. Um,
You would think.
you would think. Sangrias, I find are d delicious because they taste like fruit punch to me, and I don't taste the wine much at all.
Mm.
Or, like, if you have, like, champagne or something, like, carbonated, like, usually it doesn't taste that bad to me. What is it my mom drinks? It's a bottle of, like, the type of champagne. She's gonna laugh at me when she hears this. The one I had at my graduation party, that one's good.
Um,
What is it
was it
called?
like a prosecco or something?
Somewhat. What is it? It comes in, like, a tall, dark bottle, but
Or dark and handsome bottle?
yeah, I can't remember. Um, Martini Rossi, I think. Hold on. I can't leave this podcast without figuring it out. Yeah, Martini and Rossi sparkling wine. That's what it is. Yeah, that's the brand.
Okay,
Um,
figured it out.
it's called Asti, ASTI, and it is $8 online. That is dangerously cheap.
That is dangerously cheap, oh my
Oh
god.
no, because it's like 11 to $15 in stores where I've seen it, unless it's a really tiny bottle.
It
Um,
could be a small bottle.
but yeah, like clearly, like we are absolutely not authorities on alcohol, but I do have things that I like and might help people who don't like alcohol. But like, if you don't like alcohol, the best option is like don't drink it. Like, it's not a solution to anything. Um,
Mhm.
but nothing will beat a butterbeer. And I will take that to the grave. And a butterbeer is just cream soda with butterscotch schnapps in it. And there is almost no amount of butterscotch schnapps that is too much for that drink. Um, it's delicious and it's very sweet and it doesn't taste like alcohol at all. It's
Mm,
dangerous. I
I
have to
have yet
get.
to try one of those.
You
Maybe that'll
should.
be my my birthday drink
There
of
you
choice.
go. Yeah, butterscotch schnapps is not too expensive. The only thing is it comes in like giant bottles, so you'll have it for a bit.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I put like to like a bottle of cream soda if you get like the glass bottles. I
mhm.
put like maybe an ounce or 2 usually of the schnapps in it, and I just dump the bottle on top. Oh, it's so good. And if it tastes too much like cream soda, just add more alcohol. It's dangerous. I have never gotten drunk off of it, so I could tell you that. Um,
Okay.
Schnapps is not incredibly strong, and I don't drink very fast, so
Yeah, I feel like if
that's
it's
the
sweet like that,
kicker.
it's probably harder to drink.
Yeah, and it's like a dessert item anyway. It's not like something you go around like chugging.
Mhm.
I don't know anyone that chugs cream soda. Cream soda is like a sip it slowly kind of soda to almost everyone that I know, but I have seen people like chug a Mountain Dew like it's no tomorrow. Looking at you, Noah. He doesn't do that anymore. He used to though.
Yeah, is
Um,
he, like, in, recovery for Mountain Dew or something? Like,
in recovery.
exclusively drink it.
He used to be very
How he
much
like
a Mountain Dew
and
drinker.
then
Yeah,
diet.
yeah. I think at one point he was just like, I don't really feel like drinking this all the time anymore. It no longer. I think like the bit wore off. It was no longer as funny, and it was more just he had to burp a lot, and he didn't really care. He didn't like that. So he just stopped drinking it like altogether for a while, and now he has it every now and then. So yeah, he basically cut it cold turkey for something he wasn't even addicted to,
Wow.
and he'll like only have it at parties. Like I've never even seen him order it at a restaurant since like I don't know 2 years ago at least.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good for him.
good for him.
A
But
recovering Mountain Dew-aholic.
yeah, but yeah, we all have our things. But man, butterbeer's so good. Butterball shots are also very good. You wouldn't like those though. Um,
Butter like the turkey?
yeah, like the turkey. No, Butterball is it's the butterscotch schnapps again. And it's one shot, half butterscotch schnapps and half Bailey's, which is like Irish cream
Yep.
type alcohol. They're both
Mhm.
it tastes very strongly of alcohol, but it's just the shot just goes down and it's very good for like a Christmas like holidays type thing.
Mhm.
Um Bailey's in hot chocolate is also very dangerous. Can you
That
tell
sounds
I have a sweet tooth when it comes to almost everything? Um,
me
but
too.
yeah,
It's fun.
Noah's mom made me one of those, and it was delicious. And she put like, oh no, not hot chocolate. Sorry, Bailey's and eggnog. That's what it was.
That
So
sounds more right. I mean, I'm
yeah,
sure it was in hot chocolate too, but I think I've heard of people doing that in eggnog before.
yeah, and like eggnog, I think usually is alcoholic. Like you're supposed to mix it with alcohol. I don't know what alcohol's supposed to be if it's not Bailey's. But yeah, it was Bailey's and eggnog, and eggnog can take me out faster than a shovel to the face. In the sense of I have 1 cup of it, and then I feel sick for the rest of the night. So I have to drink it very sparingly because eggnog just makes me sick. But it is so good. I love
Yeah.
eggnog so much.
I enjoyed the, like, the Hood golden eggnog.
Oh,
It's not alcoholic. It's over the years as I've gotten older, I've noticed that I can't have as much at once, like, it's
yeah.
too sweet now. But as a kid, like, I would look forward to it every holiday season and have so much of it.
What's
I
so
still enjoy it, but it's like
mhm.
yeah.
What's so dangerous is at my Walmart, right at the self-checkout is, like, the cooler full of soda. They have,
Mhm.
like, single serve Golden Hood eggnog cartons in there.
Stop it.
I have to resist so much when I see those because I
Year
know it's gonna
round
make
or
me sick. I'm gonna regret it. Like, there's no having it safely. I'm gonna feel like crap afterward, and nothing is
yeah.
gonna like, it's the only thing that stops me from drinking eggnog all the time.
Wow. Is it year round that it has that?
Um, I don't know. It's there more often than it isn't, but I guess I never really, like, marked down the times that I saw it. I'm not in Walmart super often. Um, but I would bet probably, like, on, like, the colder half of the months it's there. I doubt it's there, like, in June, if I had to guess. But I bet you they're all
Yeah.
coming out now. Like, now's the time where everyone's selling their eggnog again.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't think I would trust a person who, like, middle of the summer is just downing some eggnog.
Yeah, uh, that would be me if it weren't poison to me. But, like, cause I am pretty good with, like, the foods that I eat, like, very little foods, like, make me sick, and I, like, know, like, what is too much of a food, like, I don't get sick often, but
Yeah.
man, the it's just eggnog. Is this how, like I'm so sorry to people who are lactose intolerant, but, like, adore cheese. Like, is this what you feel like all the time? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Like, I am not, thank God I'm not lactose intolerant, but I know a lot of people who are, who would still just, like who they would give it all for a pizza. And they're like, "I don't care. I'm gonna feel crappy for the next 2 days. I don't care. I want pizza." That's how I
Yeah.
feel with eggnog. Like, there is almost nothing stopping me from just ruining my night over a cup of eggnog.
People with lactose intolerance are just in another level. Like, they are just
They're so indefiant of their own bodies sometimes, or at
it's
least, like, the
so
ones that aren't, like, severely lactose intolerant. I do understand, like, there's a level of just, like, maybe don't, um,
right,
for your
right.
own safety. Um, I saw, like, some it's, like, people comparing it to, like, gluten intolerance, and I have friends who are both, not
Mhm.
not both together, but I have friends who are gluten intolerant, and I have friends who are, lactose intolerant. And the lactose intolerant ones are just like, "This may ruin my night, but nothing's gonna stop me." And the gluten intolerant ones are like, "If that bread comes within 10 feet of my person, I'm going to kill a man."
Get that get away from me.
Yeah, and the reactions are crazy different, so they're both very justified. Like, you do what you want with the food
Yeah.
you eat. But, bless people who have, like, dietary restrictions, and,
Mhm.
like, I'm so sorry, but,
Yeah.
like, I did a lot, like, when I cooked for, like, my college class, um, I had, like, peanut-free items, I made a couple, like, vegan things, like, when I did that soup night,
Mhm.
I also made a tomato soup for the, vegans and vegetarians. Um, More of that soup went, even those who weren't vegan or vegetarian went after the tomato soup. I had so much chicken and gnocchi for me the next week, it was awesome. Um, but yeah, so, like, I've become more aware of it now, having cooked for a lot of other people, where, like, my immediate household, we have little to no dietary restriction. Um, but yeah, God bless those that deal with it every day. You guys are crazy.
Yeah. I'm also very fortunate where we don't have a whole lot of sensitivities in my family, but my college roommate was allergic to green tea,
Okay.
and, green tea is just one of those ingredients that's sort of, like, snuck in things a
Yeah.
lot, including skincare. So I had
Oh,
this
yeah.
face mask, and we were like, "Oh, we're gonna have such a relaxing night, it's gonna be awesome." I give it to her, she's putting it on her face, and she's like, "Is it supposed to burn?" And I was like, well,
Oh.
like a little tingle," and then she was like, "Okay," and then she just kept brushing on her face, and 2 minutes later, she was like, "No, this is, like, searing hot."
Oh,
We
no.
we flipped it over, and the ingredients said green tea, like, first thing listed, and we were like, "Oh my god." So we ran to the bathroom, and she was taking off her face. Like, luckily, she didn't have too bad of a reaction,
Yeah.
but I felt so bad. I was like, "That didn't even cross my mind that it might be in there."
Right, and if
It
it
was
doesn't,
just
like, advertise it, like, green tea moisturizer, like, I
yeah.
jeez. I say
It was
that as I'm eating a green tea mint as we speak.
yeah, and apparently the refreshers at Starbucks also have a little bit of green tea in them,
Yeah.
and she was like, "I always get a headache when I drink those, I don't know why," and then she read the ingredients, she's like, "Ah, now I know why." It's yeah,
Well, at least
crazy.
that's not, like, a super severe allergy, like, that
Right.
that could be so
Yeah,
much worse.
definitely, yeah, like, it's just like a it's like a scratchiness almost that
Mhm.
will come from it or a headache or something, but it's not awful, so that's we're lucky in that sense, but I'm like, "Oh, I feel"
That sucks. I have I don't even wanna call them allergies because I think that's too strong a word, but I have very mild reactions to bananas and beans. I get very scratchy and, like, my throat I get a lot of saliva, and my throat basically just keeps swallowing, um, and that is no
I do?
fun.
I never knew that.
Yeah. like crazy mild. Like it goes away like within an hour or so. It doesn't stop me from eating either of those things because it's like almost nothing, but it hits me sometimes.
Interesting. Was that something you developed later in life, or did you already always have that?
Um, the earliest I remember like dealing with it was like early in high school. Um,
Mm.
or like the beans thing I think happened before that, but I didn't really like know what it was, so my mom thought it was heartburn. But it wasn't like acid, it wasn't like acidic or like a burning, it was just
Mhm.
like like my throat was like constantly like swallowing on itself essentially, because there was just a lot of
Oh,
saliva.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, bananas were like a high school thing, and I didn't tell anyone because like it really didn't matter. But for a little while, it was much worse, and I don't remember why. I think 'cause we had like organic bananas at home, where they were like huge, so I was having more of them, so it was like a stronger reaction than I get even now. But I stopped eating them at the time because like I didn't. It wasn't worth it. I'll have another fruit. And Tyler, one of my friends, brought me a banana, like from because we were at like a state competition, and I wanted a snack, but like I didn't feel like going to get up and anything. But he got up and he's like, "I'll get you something." I'm like, "Okay." And he comes back with a banana, and it was so nice of him, and I just like had to very kindly put it in my bag and not eat it because I didn't want to be all scratchy while I had to present at a state competition.
Did you tell him about it?
I did afterward, yeah. It's like,
Okay.
"This was so nice of you, but like I'm pretty much allergic to bananas."
Oh my god. Can you imagine, like, to this day, he's like, "Man, aren't you glad I gave you that banana at the state competition?" And then you're just like, "Uh-huh."
I won silver that year too. I could have attributed it to the banana.
Well, he
Um,
would've been like, "Oh, that banana's your lucky charm."
yeah. But yeah, now I've come back to bananas, and if I like put it with something or on something, it's not as bad, like banana toast or a smoothie. I just don't eat them plain anymore.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, allergies are so crazy with like the vast range of reactions you can have to them.
Mhm.
Um, like we know two of our friends like who from middle school who were allergic to peanuts, and one was like not super allergic to peanuts, but he was very very proactive about it. And we had another friend who was much more severely allergic to peanuts, and he was just like, "I'll just read the ingredients, is whatever."
Yeah. It's so wildly different.
Yeah, and
I
like they had different reactions, but the one that was like much more proactive was less allergic to peanuts.
Mhm.
So the different ways that people like manage their allergies is cool. Is like interesting to know about them too.
Yeah. I really liked I like when people have, EpiPens sort of, like, in a belt pack or somewhere that's, like, it's almost like a gun ready to draw, you know?
Yeah,
It's just I just feel like you are owning your allergy and you're like, "I'm gonna look it in the face, and if it
yeah,
tries to get me, I'm ready for it."
yeah.
And I
And God
respect
bless you
that.
being proactive and safe. Like like that's such a good idea to have it on hand at all times.
Yes. Definitely.
Oh man. The last time we hung out, with him, the one who wore it on his belt too, I remember we went to get pizza, and he was like we went to a new pizza place that I had never been to before, and I went to, like, ask them, and he's like, "No, no, don't worry about it. I'll ask them later." And he asked them after we ordered, and I'm like, "I
That's
really
helpful.
hope they don't use peanut oil, because if they do, it's gonna be really sad if you can't eat this with us."
Yeah.
But thankfully, it was okay, and he enjoyed pizza with us.
That's good.
That was so long ago. We haven't hung out with them in forever,
Yeah.
but Kobe, if you're hearing this, we wanna hang out.
Yes, come hang out, come be on our
Come
podcast.
be on our podcast. We won't talk about peanuts, I promise.
Well, I
Maybe
was
we
gonna say we could talk about peanuts.
or we could talk about peanuts, that's fine too, but we could talk about something more exciting if you want to be a little bit more involved.
Yeah, we'll make
Um,
it happen.
but we have reached an hour already, which is crazy. I guess not
Wow.
crazy, we can talk for a while.
Mhm.
Um, so I guess I'll say this brings us to the end of episode 1. And starting, I think next one, we'll start doing, like, more themed, like, topic-based ones. I'm sure we'll have another one where it's just we just just do nothing and just like no topic, talk for an hour. But yeah, we'll have a guest next time. I don't know who, whoever's free.
Forever is free. That's our very professional scheduling system.
Yes. My friends are not always free very regularly, so I have learned not to expect like people to be free at the same times every week. So, we'll see.
Awesome.
All
We
right.
shall see.
Thank you for joining me. This
Of
was
course.
fun.
Happy first episode.
Happy first episode and happy birthday to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.